So we're basically walking aliens. I mean, it's a wild thought, isn't it? But honestly, it's entirely true. You aren't completely human. In fact, you're walking around right now with trillions of foreign cells that literally dictate your health, your mood, and your mind. Hello, and welcome to Brain Bites. Today's topic is closely connected to your health, lifestyle, and the everyday choices we make without even realizing their impact.
Okay, let's dive into this. The gut, the body's underappreciated control center. For generations, we've kind of treated the human intestine like a simple plumbing system, or just a basic food processing plant. You put food in, it does its thing, and that's the whole shebang. But groundbreaking gastroenterology is telling us a completely different story. Your gut is way more than just a tube. It's actually your body's underappreciated control center. It's highly complex, and frankly, it runs the show when it comes to your overall well-being, nutrient absorption, and your immune system.
Section 1. Breaking the digestive taboo. Before we can truly understand our body's command center, we've got to address a major roadblock, and that's societal stigma. For so many of us, discussing digestive problems is just a massive taboo, which leaves millions suffering in silence with chronic pain, inflammation, and anxiety, all because they're simply too embarrassed to seek help. But the cultural contrast is mind-blowing. In Western cultures, digestive issues are often hidden away and heavily stigmatized. But look at South Korea. They celebrate digestion so openly, they even have an entire museum dedicated to toilets and stool. To heal our bodies, our mindset towards the gut absolutely must change. We have to be willing to talk about it openly.
Section 2. Meet your inner aliens.
Once we push past that taboo, we can zoom right into the microscopic world and explore this vast, uncharted ocean of the human ecosystem. Welcome to your microbiome. It's basically a complex ecosystem of bacteria, viruses, archaea, and fungi, all living in total harmony inside your large intestine. Think of them as your body's ultimate harvesting crew. These trillions of organisms are responsible for extracting key metabolic nutrients from your food that your body physically cannot digest on its own. Literally, without them, you would starve, no matter how much you ate.
To give you a sense of the staggering scale of this ecosystem, researchers have identified nearly 3,600 different types of microorganisms that can be found in the human gut. It's like a wildly diverse rainforest of biology sitting right inside your stomach.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer physical weight of these microscopic organisms. Each of us carries around 300 to 500 of these specific species. And if you were to gather all of them up, they would collectively weigh roughly 2 kilograms. That means you're walking around carrying the weight of a small dog made entirely of bacteria, directly contributing to your daily health. Crazy, right?
Section 3. Inside the small intestine.
Let's travel slightly up the digestive tract now, moving from the large intestine to marvel at the small intestine. This right here is the body's primary engine for nutrient absorption. The small intestine is absolutely fascinating. It measures about 5 to 6 meters in length, but because it's packed with countless tiny folds, its total surface area spans an incredible 30 square meters. Imagine folding up a small studio apartment and fitting it inside your abdomen. This massive surface area is perfectly designed by nature to maximize the absorption of every single nutrient from your food.
This absorption happens through the intestinal villi, which are these beautiful, thread-like protrusions that line the gut to absorb nutrients. But they don't work alone. They're paired with what are called goblet cells. Think of goblet cells as your body's security guards. They produce a thick, protective mucus shield that covers the gut lining. This barrier keeps harmful substances out while letting all the good nutrients in. When this shield is strong, it prevents chronic inflammation and keeps your immune system perfectly balanced.
If you're enjoying the explainer so far or finding the information useful, please take a moment to like the explainer. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to bring more insightful content to more viewers.
Section 4. The second brain.
Shifting our focus from nutrient absorption, we arrive at the physiological marvel known as the gut-brain axis. It really begs the question, what exactly is the gastrointestinal tract exchanging with the brain? Well, think of the gut-brain connection like a high-speed two-way fiber optic cable. You might think it's just sending signals for, hunger or feeling full, but it is so much more than that. Your gut influences your immune system, your deep-seated emotions, your daily behavior, and even your perception of the world. If you've ever had a gut feeling or felt butterflies when you're anxious, that is a literal, physical conversation happening between your two brains on this superhighway.
And this connection is entirely physical. The wall of your gut contains over 100 million nerve cells. That is a highly sophisticated neural network making its own decisions,
acting effectively as our body's second command center. And this brilliantly illustrates the real hierarchy in your body's information flow. As you can see, an overwhelming 90% of the communication travels from the gut up to the brain, mostly via the vagus nerve and the spinal cord. Only 10% goes from the brain down to the gut. So the gut is largely the one calling the shots, telling the brain how to feel and react.
Section 5. Diet and gut inflammation.
Knowing just how much power the gut holds, we really have to look at how we're treating it. Right now, we're facing a modern epidemic of gut inflammation. This happens when that beautiful, protective mucus barrier begins to fail, almost entirely due to the artificial, highly processed foodstuffs that dominate our modern diet. The contrast in our diets tells the whole story here. Our ancestors ate a diet incredibly rich in fiber and roughage, like 100% of what they needed. Today, the average modern human consumes only about 10% of that ancestral fiber intake. Cutting out processed sugars and shifting towards a heavily plant-based up to 90% vegan diet can act as an absolute game changer. It directly rebuilds the gut lining and reverses that chronic inflammation.
To rebuild that lining, you really need to understand the difference between prebiotics and probiotics. It's a simple analogy, actually. Probiotics are the actual health-promoting bacterial strains, the alien workers themselves. Prebiotics are the feast or the fiber that feeds them. You can't just add good bacteria, you have to feed them the right fuel, or they literally won't survive.
So if you want to start fueling those bacteria today, here are 3 highly actionable fiber-rich food swaps you can make for better digestion. First, add highly concentrated flaxseed to your meals. Second, take psyllium husks mixed with a large glass of water in the morning or between meals. And third, drastically increase your intake of whole grains and vegetables. Vegetables, vegetables, and more vegetables. This is the exact raw material your goblet cells absolutely need to rebuild your defensive shield.
Section 6. Guide to Microbiome Health.
Let's look at how this builds into a practical, everyday application. Think of this as your beginner's step-by-step guide to achieving true harmony with your microbiome. Taking control of your health isn't just about traditional muscle doping with intense, tearing workouts alone. Modern sports science is actually moving toward gut doping, optimizing from the inside out. Step 1 is to massively increase your prebiotics and fiber to feed your system. Step 2 is adding probiotic foods, like yogurt or kimchi, to introduce healthy strains. And step 3, which is honestly often completely ignored, is prioritizing your sleep and significantly reducing your stress. So, the crucial point is how stress physically damages your gut. When you're under intense physical or mental stress, your body actually pulls blood away from the digestive tract, severely reducing microcirculation. This essentially starves the gut of oxygen and triggers an inflammatory response. But simple stress reduction techniques, like deep, focused breathing exercises, physically restore that blood flow. Breathing directly soothes the gut, stopping the inflammation and allowing the tissue to repair itself. We've covered the alien ecosystem inside you, the incredible surface area of your intestines, and the physical pathways connecting your gut to your brain. Which leaves us with one incredibly exciting question. If your gut truly is the control center of your body, what is your ultimate untapped potential once you finally take the wheel? When you start treating your inner ecosystem with the respect and nourishment it deserves, there is practically no limit to how healthy, energetic, and balanced you can feel.
You're on the driver's seat. It's time to start listening to your gut. If you found this explainer valuable, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Brain Bites for more informative and thought-provoking explainers.